Hello viewers, Super GT here, welcome back to the channel. Here we go then, Saleen S7 around Prague short circuit. Let's get straight into the action, shall we? No waiting around here. Into the first turn and the second turn unopposed, which is always good news, and we've got through cleanly. That is a very rare occurrence. It must be said. It's very rare actually that I actually get around first couple of corners without being smashed. That is the benefit of pole position. So let's try and pull away. Now this is called race management. You're going to see two examples here of how driving with your brain is important. Yeah, it might sound a bit silly really, driving with your brain. Obviously you drive with your brain, but I mean really driving with your brain. Really need to think about what you're doing rather than going flat out at all times. Perhaps you do need to hold back a little bit to try to maximise your chances of winning. So, coming across the line, let's see how we tackle this lap. Now the first corner here, the first kink to the right, is really just the braking phase for this left-hander here. The first like serious corner on the track. Powering out into the tunnel. The Love Tunnel, which we've seen much action going on inside before. This double apex left-hander, a nice corner when you get it right. Hook up with the wall and then back out to the outside on the exit as we go across the bridge back towards the city once again, and then through the tunnel or through the archway, turning in before the archway. This is the scary part, and that's really where you want to hold back a little bit, I think, on the throttle. You don't really want to go flat out through there, just hold back a tiny bit, and you'll probably get better results rather than going flat out. Maybe 1 in every 5 laps you'll smash the wall, which is no good. Obviously you don't want to be smashing the wall at all, so you do need to hold back a tiny bit. Second place, 400 feet behind. He's keeping me fairly honest, so I'm lapping fairly well at the moment. He's not too far behind, so I can't really afford to make too many mistakes, and I can't afford to start relaxing as we come out through the long left. And again, just using the camber on the outside there hooks you around a little bit better. I think overall I'm actually pulling away from second place. So the Saleen S7, I used it in a couple of videos ago, and it's a car I've overlooked a lot I've overlooked it a lot in S class until recently, where I've realised actually it's one of the best cars in the class. Really good on power, really solid all-round handling, good brakes as well. Now this is where the race management comes in, because this is a normal threat in Forza. Backmarkers and idiots and rammers. So this guy is just driving deliberately slowly, and he's going to try to pump me off. So I'm going to take the safe decision here, just to stay behind him, then try to push him on a little bit, help him on. Second place is quiet on me, but then there goes the rammer. We got past him, negotiated him carefully, and yes, I have lost a lot of time there to second place, who is now right on my tail. But by going past that guy into the first turn, I risked getting absolutely obliterated. He probably would have just gone into the back of me and put me 5,000 miles into the tyre wall. So it's probably a good decision there to just stay behind him, wait for him to make an error and then go past. Because now, as you can see, I'm still in the lead, and I did lose a little bit of time, but just about managing to keep the lead. So we've got 1 lap remaining. Just scanning the map for any more back markers. I think we do have some going through the first and second turns right now, so if they start slowing down even more, then we're going to have more people to deal with at the end of the lap. But not worrying about that just yet as we come through into the tunnel again. So 300 feet now, the gap is building to second place, so I do have that comfort of knowing I can make maybe a few mistakes, not obviously big ones like clattering into the wall on the chicane coming up, but I do have a good second or so to spare. So coming through the archway, just turning in a little bit late there actually, and you can see here 2 back markers. How do we go about dealing with this? Well, thankfully they've actually wiped each other out. Now here, this is the dangerous point. I don't like to get ahead of people really going into the turns, so I just stay next to him. That way he can't really do anything to me. If he starts turning into me, I'll just turn into him, and it's just a dead heat. So coming across the line, we've just about managed that race. And yes, second place was very close, and I probably could have won that by 5 seconds or more. But in the end, first place is the result. And as Paul Walker once said, I nearly got you, dude, or whatever it was in Too Fast, Too Furious. Dominic Toretto correctly asserts that it doesn't matter if you win by a metre or a mile. Winning is winning. So we're going to move to another race, a rather different example, and it's at Lemans Bugatti. So on the front row once again, this launch in the Saleen S7, powering off the line against a SRT Viper, I believe it is. So into the first turn, got Shelby on the inside with 3 wide there going in, and then he's just going to take the lead into the chicane. I'm just going to have to go over the bollards there, as I thought. Going to make contact with the guys ahead. So a couple of Vipers. I think this is the 99 Viper ahead of me, and we're just going to look up the inside. Just going to receive a tap from behind, side-on contact with the Viper. We're going to go through into second place and try to hunt down the Shelby. You can see this very quick in a straight line, and probably won't be able to challenge him in a line. I'm going to have to maximise the corners as much as possible. This is really one of those point and squirt circuits. So what I mean by that is you're just turning the car on an axis through the turn and then just going flat out on the straight. Well, I mean, you kind of do that on most circuits, to be honest, but this track just has lots of long, sharp corners. So you're just going very slowly with mechanical grip and then just powering out onto a long straight, and that is the theme of this track, really. Apart from maybe this last sector, which we're coming up to now. So this is where I could perhaps try to reel this guy in the Shelby. So he's obviously gone for all-out power in his car, and a little bit of a hesitation through that apex on the curve there, maybe a little bit too early, but I think I have caught up slightly coming into the final double apex final turn here, and I have definitely caught up. But then this is where he is going to pull away, certainly with that power underneath that Shelby hood. So he pulls away, massive gap he's just opened up there, so up to over 400 feet. He's gone through the first turn, and actually he's gone way too quick through the first turn, and he's just going to rejoin there. I think he's going to brake to let me go, not wanting to cause any sort of problem there, so he's actually going to let me go into the lead. Now this is where the race management comes in, because I know that his car is very quick in a straight line, so I'm going to have to try to do something about neutering his pace. So for now I just got to do the laps. I've got a bit of a gap, and not a huge one admittedly, but the best I can do here is just to try and set as quick as laps as I can. He will eventually catch up, I would think, but I just have to make sure that the time that he does catch up is later on in the race, so I have less time to try to block him off. So going deep into this one and then cutting back for a late apex onto this back straight towards the back chicane. So the notorious Lemans Bugatti chicane, which is one of the biggest cutting corners in the game, I'd say. But coming through here, just trying to keep it within track limits the best we can, and that is just about clean. If you've got 2 wheels on the curb, it is considered clean in the game, and he's actually caught up massively on me there. So I'm doing a good job here of trying to pull away from him at all. In fact, he has really caught up with me in less than a lap here, so I'm going to have to go for half the race trying to block him off as we go into the final turn. Coming through the second apex onto the straight, got a good launch, so I'm going to pull away initially, but then already he's going to start to gain. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to really compromise his position, so I'm going to move to the middle and make him really think about going up the inside there in his poor handling car, and he's actually hesitated and decided not to go through, so that's actually blocked him off, which is good. You want to keep him behind as long as possible. Into the next turn, again he's got the power, he's got the run on me, so I'm going to go to the inside line and keep him at bay. So just blocking off the inside line, nowhere he can go through there, and then coming out into the next left-hander. I think I've just about got a gap there, enough that he can't go up the inside. It's a fairly short straight, that one, but I've actually gone too deep, and he's going to appear on my left-hand side, I would imagine. I can see the arrow, but he hasn't quite appeared. So coming down the next straight, the best I can do here is really just force him to the left-hand side. He's just about getting a better position on every corner, and now we come to an even longer straight, so it's going to be even harder now to try and keep him behind. In fact, it's going to be impossible now, because he is just behind me on the exit of that turn, and he's easily going to be able to get past. as he does into the chicane. So you see that I tried my best really to try and keep him at bay, and maybe if I could just force him into one more mistake, just go wide or something, then I would have had a much better chance of winning this race. But as it stands now, it's going to be really difficult to try and overturn him, because that thing has just got far too much straight line speed for my car, and it's really hard to compete with someone who's got good straight line speed and they know what they're doing with the car, because with straight line speed there's just no, if you don't have it, there's no way you can make it. With handling at least, you can somewhat drive better, the driver can do something about handling through the turns. Not everything, you can't solve really bad handling, but you can try to make a bad car get through a corner a bit better. But with straight line speed, if you don't have it, there's nothing you can do about it. So he's definitely going to start pulling away as he does there. You can see just as it kicks into maybe second or third gear, he just really begins to reel away 50 or 100 feet quite easily. So I'm just looking for a mistake now as we come into the central left-hander at the circuit. I actually went to Le Mans this year for the Forza RC Championship and actually gone really narrow there. And we actually walk past this part of the circuit every day going towards where we were having our tournament. And actually there's a back marker here in a load stage season. It totally puts him off, and he's actually going to go really wide. So I've actually inherited the lead here, and this is just a really weird trend lately that so many back markers are just waiting at the back, just waiting for us leaders to mess us up. And I say that honestly because throughout my, most of me playing this game, it really hasn't been that bad, but recently it's been really bad, that problem of people just wanting to ram the leaders. But anyway, a couple of corners left to go here. I'm going to round out second to last turn as we come towards the final turn here at Le Mans. So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to slow down and wait for him. I'm not just going to let him win the race, because sometimes I just hate it when, if that was me the other way round, I think I'd feel like my win was stolen from me because of an idiot back marker who just got in the way. So he's just going to win the race, and I'm going to finish second. I think overall he would have won that race. He had the far better car and he drove it better. But there you go. I do hope you enjoyed the video, guys. A bit of race management for you. And I do hope that if you're new to the channel, you'd like to subscribe. And obviously if you do enjoy this video, then hit the like button. Always helps out. Thank you very much for watching as always. Hope you can tune in next time. Goodbye.
Listen.